it is Thanksgiving. It's so prophetic and so strategic that God is sending me to Houston in Thanksgiving. Your life will turn around as we all worship God, hear His word, spend time to pray, and call upon Him for miracles and answers to happen. A word is coming that will change your life. Revelation eliminates confusion.
Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV. Revealing Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV. Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV. Revealing Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV. Revealing Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV. Revealing Jesus, releasing
being amounted to 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosu. Welcome to Celebration Television News Desk. I am James Comfort. Thank you so very much for joining us. Quickly, the news making the headlines for today. On the local scene, 46-year-old gospel singer Sinach welcomes first baby. Impeachment inquiry, White House attacks witness who heard improper call. On business, NNPC spends 1 billion naira daily. Petrol subsidy hits 19 naira per litre. And on sports, Igalo says Osimhen can fire Eagles to glory. Stay with us as we bring you the details of the news just right after this break. Welcome back. And now the news in details. On the local scene, 46-year-old gospel singer Sinach welcomes first baby. Pastor Chris Oyakhilome happily broke the news during the just concluded Lima Awards, which held in Lagos at the Love World Convocation Arena. At the event, Sinach went home with the $100,000 prize for the Song of the Year Award 2019, There Is an Overflow. Pastor Chris Oyakhilome, who broke the news of Sinach's new baby at the Lima Awards 2019 while giving her the Song of the Year award, said, "Thank you for that song. We are all excited with what the Lord has done in your life and of course in the life of many others standing with you here. We love you." Pastor Chris said he had mentioned earlier to the congregation that Sinach just had a baby which had left everyone excited. Sinach, who has been a huge blessing to many globally, the only female gospel artist from Nigeria and Africa at large to hit that landmark is indeed worth celebrating. The 46-year-old singer got married to Pastor Joe Egwu in 2014. We say congratulations to Sanach and her husband. Moving forward, Buhari confirms APC NEC meeting for Friday. President Muhammadu Buhari has confirmed the All Progressives Congress National Executive Council meeting for Friday. However, the party's National Working Committee is expected to hold an emergency meeting today in Abuja. The People's Democratic Party will also hold an emergency meeting today to deliberate on Saturday's governorship elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states, which they lost. Also on Tuesday, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike made a veiled reference to the APC's victory in the Bayelsa governorship poll, saying Rivers would be the next target of the party by the enemies. It is learned that the APC's emergency meeting was aimed at setting an agenda for the National Caucus meeting on Thursday. A top member of the party told our correspondent on Tuesday that the NWC meeting is strategic as it would lay the foundation for deliberations at the caucus meeting. Vacant leadership positions in the party are also expected to be on the front burner as new occupants could emerge this week subject to ratification by the NEC. In more news unfolding, Bayelsa Kogi polls, politicians sealed uniforms for fake cops, says Inspector General. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamo, said on Monday that politicians and other actors made plans to counter security arrangement for Saturday's governorship poll in Bayelsa and Kogi states. He said part of the counter plan was to sew uniforms for persons that posed as policemen and security officials. Adamo, who spoke with the State House correspondents after President Muhammadu Buhari and the service chiefs held a meeting at the presidential villa Abuja, said the police and other security officers deployed for the elections carried special identification tags. But he admitted that while the police did their arrangements, politicians and persons the Inspector General called the bad guys also made counter plans to cause problems in some isolated areas in Kogi and Bayelsa states. He stated that any policeman seen disrupting the polls in the two states was not genuine if he had no identification card and tag issued by the police authorities. On the security meeting with Buhari, the Inspector General said it was to review the security situation of the country. He said the session came to the conclusion that kidnapping, banditry, and insurgency had dropped remarkably. Finally, from the local scene, constituency projects, Buhari attacks National Assembly. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has said there is little to show for over 1 trillion naira budgeted for constituency projects of the National Assembly members in the last 10 years. Buhari spoke at the National Summit on Diminishing Corruption in Public Sector, which was organized by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission in conjunction with the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation in Abuja on Tuesday. At the event, the ICPC Chairman Professor Bolaji Onwasanoye presented the Commission's report on the first phases of constituency projects tackling initiative. Buhari called on the National Assembly to hasten work on the Special Crimes Court bill, saying Nigerians had been agitating for it to handle corruption cases. The President added that the ICPC report on constituency projects confirmed the fees that the people at the grassroots had not benefited from the huge money that the National Assembly members had collected for the projects. He said corruption is the cause of many major problems in the country. It is a catalyst for poverty, insecurity, weak educational system, poor health facilities and services, and many other ills of the society. This government is working hard to overcome such ills, he said. Corruption generally in public sector corruption in particular inhibits the ability of government to deliver infrastructure and basic services to the people. Buhari said that he was delighted that through the effort of the ICPC in the tracking of constituency projects, some contractors were returning to the site in order to complete abandoned projects. Now, news from the international scene is next. Stay with us as we bring you the details after this break.
Shout Jesus! It is better to be envied than to be pitied. But the only problem about envy, it is very dangerous when people envy you for pettiness.
Hello, great people. My name is Johnson Suleman. I'd like to give you a special invitation, and I hope this message meets you well. Do you live in Edmonton? Do you live in Ottawa? Do you live in Toronto? Do you live in Winnipeg? This is an outstanding invitation for you all as I come to Calgary. I'll be in Canada for an outburst of the move of God, the great, massive harvest of souls. So I'm coming to Calgary. The address is now being scrolled, and all the information you need to get, the numbers to call for seat reservation. I'm believing God. I'm going to be laying my hands on the sick. I'm going to be praying for people, believing God for a miracle, and God will be sitting in the building. This year is our year of open heavens and uncommon grace, and that's what's coming to Calgary. I'll see you there.
One mic. One stage.
One night. The new generation.
Instruments of worship.
A channel
To the Father. We must gather.
because
We are grateful.
Jubilee Music and Art Fest. No chains are holding me. It's who I choose to be.
J-Man.
Triumphant Sisters, we will be there.
I am Marvel Jokes International Music Director. This December, Jubilee Music and Art Festival.
Welcome back. In foreign news now. Impeachment inquiry, White House attacks witness who heard improper call. The White House attacked its own top Ukraine official as he testified to an impeachment hearing that a phone call made by the president was improper and had left him in shock. A decorated Iraq War veteran who serves in a senior role on the U.S. National Security Council, Lieutenant Colonel Friedman, testified before the House on Tuesday in his army dress uniform. As he described his reaction to hearing the call between President Trump and his Ukrainian counterpart, President Volodymyr Zelensky, Lieutenant Colonel Friedman came under attack by the official White House Twitter account, which posted a critical quote from his former boss on the NSC questioning his judgment. Republican Congressman pressed Lieutenant Colonel Friedman on the BMAC and questioned his loyalty to the U.S., asking about instances in which Ukrainian officials approached him about becoming the country's defense minister. Every single time I dismissed it, he said. Lieutenant Colonel Friedman said, I am an American. The impeachment hearings are an effort by Democrats to establish whether Mr. Trump withheld U.S. military aid to Ukraine in order to pressure the country's new leader, Mr. Zelensky, into announcing a corruption inquiry into Joe Biden, Mr. Trump's leading Democratic rival for the U.S. presidency. Lieutenant Colonel Friedman told the U.S. House Intelligence Committee that he had been concerned by the president's demands to investigate Mr. Biden. More news from the foreign scene. Election debate, Johnson and Corbyn clash over Brexit. Boris Johnson and Jeremy Corbyn have clashed over Brexit in the first TV election debate of the campaign. Mr. Johnson promised to end this national misery and said Labour offered only division and deadlock. Mr. Corbyn said Labour would get Brexit sorted by giving the people the final say. The two leaders also locked hands over NHS, trust and leadership, the future of Scotland and the royal family. A Snap YouGov poll suggested the public were evenly split on who had won the debate, with most Labour votes thinking Jeremy Corbyn won, most Conservative voters thinking Boris Johnson won. SNP leader Nicola Sturgeon said she was not impressed at all by the debate and said neither man was fit to be Prime Minister. Liberal Democrat leader Joe Swinson dismissed the performances of Mr. Johnson and Mr. Corbyn as bluster and diversion from both of them. Green Party co-leader Sean Berry expressed dismay at the climate chaos issues being relegated to the quickfire round in that debate. And Brexit Party leader Nigel Farage said Mr. Corbyn was the better debater, but criticized him for not saying if he would leave or remain in a future referendum. The Lib Dems and SNP rather lost a court challenge to ITV's decision not to include their party leaders in the debate. After the break is news from the world of business. Stay with us.
Miracles everywhere. He was on crutches. Power! Power!
One mic. One stage.
One night. The new generation. Instruments of worship. A channel
To the Father. We must gather.
because
We are grateful.
Jubilee Music and Art Fest. No chains are holding me. It's who I choose to be.
J-Man.
Triumphant sisters, we will be there.
I am Marvel Jones International Music Director. This December, Jubilee Music and Art Festival.
And welcome back from the world of business. NNPC spends 1 billion naira daily. Petrol subsidy hits 19 naira per litre. Data obtained from the Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Agency on Tuesday showed that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation was subsidizing the cost of premium motor spirits consumed across the country by 19 naira per litre. NNPC on several occasions had stated that Nigeria consumes between 55 million to 60 million litres of PMS, popularly known as petrol, daily. In its July 2019 financial and operations report, for instance, the corporation said a total of 55.74 million litres of petrol was consumed across the country on a daily basis. Going by a daily consumption of 55 million litres and the 19 naira subsidy which was corporation currently incurs on every litre of PMS consumed in Nigeria, the national oil firm is spending about 1.1 billion naira daily on subsidy. In another development, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Temipre Silva, and the Managing Director, ExxonMobil Nigeria, Paul Margaret, met in Abuja on Tuesday to discuss the activities of ExxonMobil in Nigeria. At the meeting, Silva told the ExxonMobil team that attracting more investors into the oil sector would not be done at the expense of the long-term relationship with existing investors. And more news unfolding, Nemasa remits 16 billion naira revenue in 10 months. The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency has remitted a total sum of 16 billion naira to the Consolidated Revenue Fund, exceeding the budgeted sum by 4 billion naira. The Director General Nemasa, Peter Saida Kuku, who made this known in Abuja on Tuesday, said 133% increment was due to a number of measures put in place by the agency, such as effective monitoring of vessels, enforcement of laws, increased surveillance, and debt recoveries. Peterside made this known when he appeared before the House of Representatives Committee on Maritime Safety, Education and Administration for the appraisal of the 2019 budget of NEMASA. The NEMASA board said 110.84 billion naira was the targeted revenue for 2019, out of which 83.49 billion naira, representing 74%, was realized, while 20 billion naira had been spent out of the 28 billion naira allocated for the mandatory maritime fund. Given the breakdown of the expenses for the 2019 budget, Peterside said 20 billion naira was budgeted for personal costs, out of which 15.2 billion naira had been spent, while overhead cost was allocated 24 billion naira, with 12 billion naira spent out of it. Peterside added that the agency also released 2.5 billion naira to the Nigerian Maritime University occurring Cocoa Delta State. Responding to questions from members of the committee, Peterside stated that NEMASA was working to ensure the review of existing maritime laws in the country to meet up contemporary demands of the industry. Sports SAC manager. Sports news is up next after the break. Stay with us while we bring you a bunch of interesting news items.
My name is Lizzie Johnson Suleman. People say that there's no reason, nothing to be thankful of, but there's a reason why you need to be grateful to God, why you need a heart of gratitude. This is JMAF, Jubilee Music and Art Festival. Be there, just a night with a king. God bless you.
Jesus! Hallelujah! I'm rounding up American Invasion for 2019.
When you want to know your size, check your feet.
Be my guest as I come to Houston, Texas for a most outstanding move of God. And this is good news. It is Thanksgiving.
Wonder-working God, I see you everywhere, touching every life, removing every test.
It's so prophetic and so strategic that God is sending me to Houston in Thanksgiving. Your life will turn around as we all worship God, hear His word, spend time to pray, and call upon Him for miracles and answers to happen. A word is coming that will change your life.
Revelation eliminates confusion.
Welcome back. Now, sports news. Tottenham sacked manager Mauricio Pochettino after 5 years in charge. Spurs have made a disappointing start to the current campaign and are 14th in the Premier League. We were extremely reluctant to make this change. It is not a decision the board has taken lightly, nor in haste, said Spurs chairman Daniel Levy. Pochettino was appointed in May 2014 and led the club to the Champions League final last season, where they lost to Liverpool in Madrid. The Argentines assistant Jesus Perez and coaches Miguel de Agostino and Antonio Jimenez have also left the club. Tottenham said in a statement that they would provide an update on new coaching staff in due course. Former Southampton boss Pochettino guided Tottenham to the League Cup final in his fourth full season, while two third-placed finishes sandwiched a runners-up spot in the Premier League in 2017. As well as leading Spurs to a runners-up finish in last season's Champions League, he also took them to fourth in the league, although they did only manage to win 3 of their final 12 league games. He also had to contend with playing home games at Wembley for 18 months while the club's new ground was built, and his impressive results despite this led to links with Real Madrid and Manchester United. However, Spurs have failed to build on the promise of recent seasons this term, as well as their disappointing league form. They were knocked out of the League Cup by League Two side Colchester and hammered 7-2 at home by Bayern Munich in Champions League. Now, still from the world of sports, Mikel Obi's return against Ankara Gücü. Former Super Eagles captain Mikel Obi is eyeing a return to competitive football for the first time in a month when Trabzonspor takes on Ankara Gücü in Saturday's Turkish Super League game. Mikel picked up a thigh injury on October 14 and missed his side's last 6 competitive games for the club. The 32-year-old midfielder, who had since returned to full training with his teammates, is hopeful of making an appearance. Happy to be back on the pitch with the team getting better and better, Mikel wrote beneath a picture of himself on Instagram. The former Chelsea man might be considered for the game by manager Ünal Karaman after midfielder Abdul Kadir Pamak was shown a red card in their last league game against Alanyaspor. However, Mikel's compatriot Ogenye Onazi, who is also back in training, is poised for a return. Now, finally, from the world of sports and on news desk, Igalo says Osimhen can fire Eagles to glory. Former Nigerian striker Odion Igalo has passed a vote of confidence in Victor Osimhen, saying the Lille star is capable of leading Super Eagles' attack. He said the few days after Eagles coach Gernot Rohr revealed that criticisms followed his choices of taking Osimhen to the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations. Osimhen helped Nigeria defeat Benin 2-1 victory last Wednesday and grabbed a brace and 2 assists in Eagles' 4-2 win against Lesotho on Sunday. Igalo, who retired from his international career in July after Eagles' third-place finish at the 2019 AFCON in Egypt, warned Osimhen to be focused on his career. The Shanghai Xinhua forward also warned the 20-year-old Eagle striker against pride, urging him to be ready to learn. He said he always told him that he had everything it takes to lead his attack, but it all depends on him. I told him he has to keep working hard, stay humble, and always be ready to learn, and above all, not to get carried away with success or hype, but just to keep improving, Igalo said. And that has been the size of the news for today. From Celebration Television News Desk, but just in case you missed out, here is a recap of the headlines. From the local scene, 46-year-old gospel singer Sinach welcomes first baby. From the foreign scene, impeachment inquiry, White House attacks witness who heard improper call. On business, NNPC spends 1 billion naira daily. Petrol subsidy hits 19 naira per litre. And on sports, Igalo says Osimhen can fire Eagles to glory. Do not forget to stay connected to us through our social media platforms to be kept abreast of news, stories, and other updates as they unfold. On Facebook, we are Celebration TV. On Instagram, My Celebration TV. On Twitter, at My Celebration TV. And on YouTube, www.youtube.com/Celebration TV. I am James Comfort, and thank you so very much for watching.
To 15.7 trillion naira